stadium is roaring, the atmosphere is electric, and the West's Tigers are pushing forward with everything they've got. Suddenly, crack, a collision echoes across the field. A star player, Jeral Skelton, collapses to the turf. Silence floods the stands. What just happened? A horror tackle, gone horribly wrong. And in that split second, the entire game changes. But what really unfolded in that shocking moment? And what does it mean for the Tigers, for the opposition, and for the season ahead? Stick with me, because this story takes unexpected twists, moments of heartbreak, anger, and perhaps redemption. Before we break it all down, if you're a true rugby league fan and you live for those dramatic highs and gut-wrenching lows, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Because here at Aussie NRL Updates, we bring you the biggest talking points, the shocks, and the stories that keep you on the edge of your seat. The Tigers were in full attacking mode. Their sets were fast, their forwards were dominating the ruck, and the crowd could feel something brewing. Enter Jeral Skelton, the man known for his explosive runs, his fearless style, and his ability to break the line when it matters most. He charged down the sideline, ball in hand, eyes locked on open space. But then, contact. A defender launched, mistiming his technique, and instead of a clean shoulder or textbook wrap, the tackle went wrong. The collision left Skelton sprawled on the ground. Fans gasped. Commentators fell silent. Medical staff rushed in. It wasn't just a knock. You could see it immediately, this was serious. And suddenly, the game wasn't about points or possession anymore, it was about the well-being of a player who had been pivotal to the Tigers' resurgence this season. Moments like this hit harder than any scoreboard. Thousands of fans, who seconds earlier were screaming for a try, were now whispering, covering their mouths, some even in tears. Opposing players stepped back, shaking their heads, knowing this wasn't just a penalty, it was something much heavier. And here's where rugby league shows its raw humanity. Rivals on the field, but brothers in the game. You could see it in their faces, concern for Skelton. The referee blew the whistle, play halted. Replays on the big screen replayed the moment again and again, each time drawing louder groans from the crowd. Now let's pause here, because if you're new to following the Tigers, you might not fully grasp just how big this moment was. Jeral Skelton isn't just another player. He's a rising star, a player with a background in both rugby union and rugby league, known for his blistering speed and his fearless attacking style. When he joined the Tigers, many saw him as a spark, the kind of player who could breathe new life into a team desperate for consistency. And that's exactly what he's done this season. Skelton had been gaining confidence, week after week, and his performances were starting to turn heads across the NRL. His potential? Enormous. His impact? Undeniable. Which is why seeing him laid out on the turf was such a gut punch for fans, teammates, and coaches alike. Now let's talk about that tackle. Rugby league is tough, physical, and brutal, but there's a line. A fine line between a great defensive hit and something that crosses into dangerous territory. The defender, in this case, clearly got his timing wrong. He came in low, but his shoulder connected awkwardly, forcing Skelton's body into a vulnerable position. Was it malicious? Probably not. But was it reckless? Absolutely. And this is where debates begin. Was it just an accident in the heat of the game, or should there be serious consequences for the tackler? Because here's the reality, when tackles go wrong in rugby league, careers can be on the line. As Skelton lay on the ground, time felt like it froze. Trainers gestured for the stretcher. Fans held their breath. His teammates surrounded him, some placing hands on his shoulder, offering words of encouragement. And then, finally, movement. Skelton, grimacing in pain, was carefully lifted and taken from the field. The applause that followed wasn't about the game. It was about respect. But here's the cliffhanger, what's the diagnosis? What does this mean for his season, and could this injury derail not only his career momentum but also the Tigers' chances of turning things around? We'll come back to that, but first, let's look at how this moment reflects something much bigger about rugby league today. This sport is built on toughness. Every player knows they're putting their body on the line, week in and week out. And fans love it because it's raw, it's uncompromising, and it's real. But with that comes risk. Careers cut short. Players sidelined for months. Dreams shattered in a single moment. And it raises the question, how far is too far? Because let's be honest, no one tunes in to see players seriously injured. We tune in for the skill, the grit, the moments of brilliance. And when a horror tackle overshadows the game, it forces the NRL, the referees, and even the fans to confront an uncomfortable truth: safety matters, and it has to come first. Back to the field, how did the Tigers react? At first, shock. Their star player was gone. But then, something shifted. They weren't just playing for themselves anymore. They were playing for Jeral Skelton. You could see it in their body language. Harder runs, tougher tackles, more determination. Sometimes in rugby league, tragedy sparks fight. But here's the kicker: did it work? Did the Tigers manage to channel that emotion into victory, or did the loss of Skelton throw their entire game plan into chaos? That's where this story takes another twist. Of course, all eyes turned to the player who made the tackle. Social media exploded. Fans demanded a send-off. Others argued it was simply part of the game. And this is where the NRL finds itself in the middle of a storm. How do you balance the ferocity of rugby